Okay, guys, welcome back. Now that you remember all the things you need to know about arrays, let's talk about how we can use arrays to help us answer big multiplication problems. And the strategy we're going to be using today is using small multiplication problems to figure out big multiplication problems. So small multiplication problems help us figure out big multiplication problems. Let me tell you what I mean. So here are the steps we're going to follow, and I'm going to walk you through them as we go. So our first step is to make a plan. Okay, so I have this multiplication problem, 3 times 17. That's pretty big. I want to make an array to help me figure out 3 times 17, and I first need to make a plan. What small multiplication problems can I do to help me figure out this big problem? And in this case, we have this one big number right here, 17. And I'm going to break that 17 into smaller pieces to make it easier for me to multiply. So I'm going to break 17 into tens, which 17 is 10, and ones. And the reason and there's 7 ones in 17, 1 10 and 7 ones. And the reason I chose to break it into tens and ones is because if I tried to build 3 times 17, just making an array like this, oh my gosh, to build out 17 single ones would take me forever. But if I use my base 10 blocks and just build 1 10 and 7 ones in each row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still a little long, but not as long as building 17 ones. So I made a plan. I'm going to split my 17 into 1 10 and 7 ones. 10 plus 7 does equal 17. And now my job is to build my array with tens and ones. I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I built my array, my 3 times 17 array. I'm going to label those real quick. I have 3 rows, just like we know with arrays, with 17 in each row, and I broke that 17 into smaller numbers because multiplying smaller numbers helps us solve big multiplication problems. Okay, so I have my array. Now what do I do? Well, I need to split my array into sections and multiply each section. Let me show you what that means. I can use these smaller numbers, 10 and 7, to help me figure out this big multiplication problems. If I kind of think of this as 2 arrays, I have the green part and the yellow part, then this part is just a 3 times 10 array. We know 3 times 10. 3 times 10 is 30. Counting by tens is easy. And then if I think of this other yellow part, well, that's just a 3 times 7. Let me change my color. 3 times 7, I know that one, it's 21. I could just count if I wasn't sure. Okay, so let me make this 10 a little better. I used my smaller numbers, my 10 and my 7, to help me start to figure out this big problem, 3 times 17, but I'm not done. I still have 2 separate sections. I still have 2 small problems. I just need to put them together because 10 and 7 together make 17. So my 3 times 10 array and my 3 times 7 array put together make 3 times 17. So I'm just going to take my 30 from my 3 times 10 array and my 21 from my 3 times 7 array, put them together by adding 30 plus 21, and that will tell me that's 51. 30 plus 21 is 51. That is the answer to 3 times 17, 51. I added up all the pieces. So here's what I did. First, I made a plan. Which number am I going to break up and what am I going to break it up into? Because I want to break it into smaller pieces to help me figure out the big problem. Then I built my array and then I added up my pieces. First I multiplied, then I added up my pieces. And so those 2 smaller arrays helped me figure out that big array. You're going to do some practice now, and then we'll come back and do one more video.